do I say the things that I say? After getting one great movie, I had a thought that, well, maybe this will be the great finale. End this series on a strong note. Nope. Not even close. Once again, we have yet another disappointing follow-up. And honestly, I just don't like this original Apes series much at all. It's so inconsistent. It's so confusing. It's so contrived at times, and it rushes things to all belief. Like, I thought this would be a fun watch, but so far I've only liked 2 of them. 2 out of 5 is a failing grade. And this is how the original Apes series ends. Not with a bang, but a wet, stinky fart. Let's just get this over with. Welcome back to Animation Station, and let's listen for anything and everything animation, including TVs and movies as well. I am your host, Jackson Small. Let's talk about Battle for the Planet of the Apes. It sucks. It is, at best, painfully, aggressively average. Like, this movie was so freaking disappointing. Like, a big final battle that may lead to a recurrence of the events of the original, that sounds freaking awesome on paper. Not to mention you're coming off the heels of the one great film in this franchise. But then you just don't even bother to try. Like, come on, man. Here's my written review. I just want to get this done so I never talk about this painfully average piss pile ever again. Enjoy. And back to mediocrity. And sadly, it's the finale of the original series. And a pretty unbelievably underwhelming finale at that. It's not bad, but it has a lot of issues that make it pretty much not worth revisiting, or not even worth watching, to be honest with you. The pros, it has some good acting, it has decent action, it still has great effects, arguably the best in the series. It has some cool concepts, and it has a solid runtime of less than 90 minutes. Like, this movie's short. And some moments can be pretty shocking. There's one shocking moment in particular that did have my jaw on the ground, but that's the one and only time the movie actually managed to surprise me. Here's the many, many problems of this movie. The story is pretty much non-existent. It's supposed to be about Caesar trying to stop this war between this warring little faction of gorillas inside of his tribe, as well as these humans that are coming in to try and regain control. Most of the movie, they don't do jack shit with that plot. And most of the time, it's kind of just sitting in the background, almost doing nothing. Like, the plot barely moves forward. The plot is barely even pushed forward at all. It is so just unimportant, uninspired, boring. A lot of subplots that go nowhere. This movie has so many subplots I can't even begin to describe to you any of them, because I'm just going to end up bogging this review down by going in depth with that, not to mention spoiling the movie, even though I think it's not watching. I'm getting off topic. You get my fucking point. Breakneck pacing that doesn't give scenes enough time to be effective. Most of the time in the movies, the pacing's fine, but with this one, it moved way too fast, and it didn't give any scenes time to actually be effective or move the damn story forward, instead just sitting around doing nothing. The absolute worst and most terrible villain in the entire series. I already forget his name. I think it was Alon, I don't know. The evil gorilla ape. I fucking hated this guy. And no, not in like, oh, you love to hate him because he's a villain. No, as in you hate him because he's on screen and he sucks as a villain and you don't buy it for a second. So he's just there to be annoying. And that's pretty much all he is. He does one shocking thing in this movie and then does dick all for the rest of it. Low rewatchability. There's little to no reason to ever rewatch this movie again. And an ending that's more confusing rather than satisfying. The ending of this movie is dog shit. Or sorry, gorilla shit. I forgot, I need to be specific here. It's gorilla shit. It is terrible. It is a terrible ending that just leaves me more confused more than anything. It's stupid. It is one of the stupidest fucking endings I've ever seen. Not stupider than movie 2, no, but still stupid and still really bad. Overall, it's yet another mixed bag. It has some cool ideas and some good moments here and there, but in execution, it just completely face-planted off of a cliff. And as a finale to the entire original Apes series, it is pretty damn lousy. So, it sucks as a finale. It honestly sucks as a movie in general, but I can't call it bad because it has some good things in there that do make it not a complete waste of time. Still not good though. Like, not even close to being good. And considering from how highly I was praising the last movie that this is supposedly continuing off of, it is a huge, huge drop off. And then after this, I mean, what's left? A reboot, and then the new trilogy, and then another reboot that's apparently starting with this new one. I'm starting to get burnt out on this series, to be honest with you, because so far, I've only liked 2 of them. Like, yeah, you can say, oh, well, you only hated one of them. Yes, that's true, I only hated 2. That's the only one I hate. But the rest of these are so painfully average or just flat out boring that it honestly doesn't even matter in the grand scheme of things. 1 was really good. I still stand by that. 1's a really good movie. I still recommend it. 2 was fucking garbage. 3 was a tonally confusing mess. 4 was awesome. And then 5, it just goes back to mediocrity again. I've already wasted enough breath, and I'm not giving this a 20-minute plus review because it doesn't deserve it. Final verdict for this painfully average snoozer is a 5 out of 10. It's not trash, it may not be bad, but as a finale to the entire original Apes series, it sucks. And it is honestly not even worth watching. Not even a one and done out of your curiosity. It's painfully average, most of it is super fucking boring, and until the end, nothing happens. That's it. So, what's next? The 2001 reboot with Mark Wahlberg. Yay. I can't wait for that one, considering the fact that almost every movie I see him in is boring as fuck. Whatever. As long as it's decent, it'll be nice, I suppose. See you next time for the weird anomaly that is the 2001 reboot of the original Planet of the Apes.
We cannot take it anymore, the time has come.